Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome back to another Mortal Kombat video. Now in today's topic and discussion, I wanted to dive in and answer an age-old question that's been in the series for a while, but not one that I've actually explored, and that is, why do the Lin Kuei hate the Shira Ryu so much? As initially, it's believed that the two are simply just rivals, with both being assassin-based organizations that are located in Eastern Asia. But what if I were to tell you that the blood feud was far deeper than that, and that it is in fact far more personal than what we know? Well, in order to explore this, we're going to have to go quite far back in time, before the events of the very first game. Although we don't know the strict date and time of where the Lin Kuei was formed, we do know that the Shira Ryu came not long after it. But how did this come to be? Well, during the feudal era of Japan, a warrior by the name of Takeda was interested in self-defense, believing that it would help benefit him and his people, and thus because of this, he would reach out to the Chinese assassin organization known as the Lin Kuei, eager to train in their ways and traditions. Now, though it was uncommon for an outsider to be brought in at an older age, as many were raised in the clan, Takeda was seemingly accepted into it, with the at the time Grand Master believing that he could grow into a valuable asset. Now, over the course of time, Takeda learned of their traditions and trained in their ways for many years, even if it was quite brutal, though Takeda was somewhat thankful for them taking him in, and of course putting a roof over his head with his training. A deep-seated resentment was born in his heart, as he was disgusted with how the Lin Kuei functioned, brutally beating their trainees into shape, and the worst atrocity was how they recruited children. You see, there are many within the Lin Kuei that aren't in fact born into it. Many are kidnapped as children and are raised within the halls of the Lin Kuei, as they believe that it was the true way to channel someone's fighting spirits and in turn create the ultimate assassin. So there are many that do exist in the Lin Kuei that were robbed of the opportunity to have a real childhood, and even the parents themselves were left with nothing. Takeda had simply grown tired of the Lin Kuei. Its barbaric traditions disgusted him, and thus he decided to leave. And because he left the Lin Kuei, he was in fact marked for death and branded as a traitor by the Grand Master. As you see, no one leaves the Lin Kuei, and even if you simply try to walk away, it is deemed as treason. Now, despite their best efforts to pursue Takeda, he was successful in escaping China, returning back to his home in Japan, serving overlords and generals as an assassin for hire. So fortunately, due to the nature of his job, he was able to elude the eyes of the Lin Kuei. But as the years started to pass by, and Takeda himself was getting older, he wanted to be something more than a mere assassin, and thus he would begin to spread the Lin Kuei's teaching and techniques across Japan. But as a way of somewhat severing his ties to them, he would alter their rather twisted and perverse perceptions of martial arts. And the style of martial arts that Takeda was teaching would eventually evolve into what we now know as ninjutsu. So from Takeda's teachings and ideology, the Shira Ryu would be born. Now, whilst Takeda helped out many, it did unfortunately put him back in the crosshairs of the Lin Kuei, believing him to be a living mockery of their clan, with how he bastardized their traditions and revealed their secrets. The Lin Kuei would send their forces to hunt him down, but the spirit of the Shira Ryu proved to be too strong and they were pushed back. It's here where the clan was truly born, and from here on out, the Shira Ryu would evolve into a force to be reckoned with. Takeda's vision and clan would spread throughout all of Japan, and he would form an assassin organization that rivaled even that of the Lin Kuei. And just to add a little bit of salt to the wound, to show his mockery of the Lin Kuei, he had the Shira Ryu dress in their traditional Lin Kuei garb, but with yellow instead of their traditional blue, somewhat mocking them and calling them cowards. Now, the tale of Takeda does have a rather abrupt ending, as during the later years of his life, he was seemingly assassinated, but not by any man. It was instead poison that was put in his tea. The culprit is in fact unknown, but due to the rising tension and turmoils between the Lin Kuei and the Shira Ryu, it more or less does go without saying that it was definitely the Lin Kuei. Of course, his demise would stoke the flames of hatred between both sides, and they continued to battle it out over the centuries, with neither side truly winning, up until the Shira Ryu's fall at the hands of Quan Chi and the Lin Kuei. But we all know how that story goes. Although gone, Takeda's teachings would continue to go on from generation to generation of the Shira Ryu, evolving and growing with each newborn. So his legacy, honor, and teachings would live on, falling into hands of prestigious fighters like Hanzo Hisashi and Takeda Takahashi. Now, originally, this Shira Ryu origin story was an idea that was strictly conceived for the non-canon spin-off show Mortal Kombat Conquest, a prequel TV series for the Mortal Kombat movies. It served as a way of expanding on a character known as as the Great Kung Lao. And although at first it was not tied to the main canon, being disregarded for what it was, it would eventually be adapted to the main canon, with references being thrown out by Hanzo on a fair few occasions. But yes guys, this is in fact the main reason as to why the Lin Kuei despised the Shira Ryu. There is a long-standing blood feud between both sides, and this is definitely a topic I wanted to discuss, as it is something that's more than just a rivalry. It is a deep-running blood feud between both sides. Hopefully this expands with the Sub-Zero and Scorpion rivalry that's gone on for decades, as it is one of the most iconic rivalries in gaming. So I wanted to expand a little bit more on this and add some more layers to that relationship. So hopefully you've learned more by watching this video. I will be exploring more obscure things within the Mortal Kombat universe over the next few weeks, as I figured it'd be quite fun to shine a little bit of limelight on things that you may not in fact know, or things that are already established that may have gone over your head. But until then, that will be it for this video. So before it wraps up, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes, and also please do not forget to take that bell, as it will notify you and keep you up to date with everything on the horizon. Now if possible guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.